today's lecture. In yesterday's lecture, we have studied about why there is need of frequency domain of images. We also studied concept of spatial frequency. What do you mean by frequency in case of images? And we also talked about how to transform image to Fourier domain, and we studied about important properties of images, sorry, not images, important properties of two-dimensional transform, that is that is separability and symmetry properties. So there is message that screen is not visible. Everyone is facing the problem. I am resharing the screen. Okay. Please check that. Now please answer whether the screen is visible. Is the screen visible to you? Is the screen visible? Please type in the chat box. Okay. Now I am getting yes answers. So it seems screen is visible. Okay. Now I am just putting it in read mode so that it won't affect your. Okay. So okay, so how we perform frequency domain? Basically, we take Fourier transform of the image. If our input image is fxy, we transform it to Fourier domain by using one of the transformation techniques like discrete Fourier transform. So FUV represents transform domain image. Then we multiply it with filter function. So here HUV represents filter function. Okay. So we multiply transform image with filter function, and then we get enhanced image in the frequency domain or filtered image GUV. Now this GUV is a Fourier transform of the enhanced image. So after this multiplication by filter function, we need to take inverse of GUV to get the filtered image GXY. Okay, so after inverse transformation of GUV, we get GXY, that is enhanced image or filtered image. Okay, so this is our frequency domain operation for image filtering, which is simple multiplication by filter function with Fourier transform of the image, and the same thing is equivalent to convolution in spatial domain or in image plane. Okay, so this is HXY, two-dimensional convolution with FXY gives you enhanced image in spatial domain GXY, and same thing we are achieving in frequency domain by simple multiplication. Okay, so this is your filtering in frequency domain. Now according to type of this filter function HUV, we can have different types of filters. Please turn off the sun. Okay, so let us have a look at very first filter, that is ideal low pass filter. So ideal low pass filter, so this ideal low pass filter is presented by this particular function in frequency domain. This is your frequency axis, or in case of images, we can call it as distance axis, DUV, which represents distance from the origin of particular image pixel, okay, in frequency domain, okay. So this is your frequency axis and this is your amplitude of frequency coefficients. So this HUV represents amplitude of filter coefficients. So for low pass filter, all of you are familiar with this function. All the frequencies below D0, they are passed, and of all the frequencies above D0, they are attenuated completely. So this is your ideal low pass filter. Now same ideal low pass filter function we can use for images in frequency domain. Here only modification we need is when instead of single axis, frequency axis, now we have one more frequency axis. So if this is your U axis, we have one more axis, V axis, and we can get the filter function simply by rotating this shape around this vertical axis, okay. So what shape we will get if we rotate this rectangle around this vertical axis? Please type your answer in the chat box. This is your vertical axis and this is rectangle. If we rotate this rectangle around vertical axis, we will get a cylinder, right? Cylindrical shape. And for images, all the frequencies inside the cylinder with radius D0, those are passed, and all the frequencies outside the cylinder are attenuated completely, okay. So as shown here, this ideal low pass filter function HUV is given by HUV is equal to 1 if U is less than or equal to D0, or when your U value is between 0 to D0, output is 1, and when it is outside D0, output is 0, okay. And for images along with U, we also need, when U and V both are less than D0, it gives us ideal low pass filter, okay. So here D0 we can call as cutoff frequency, and as shown in the next slide, your ideal low pass filter function looks like as shown here. So when we rotate this rectangle around this vertical axis, we get a cylinder. So we get this cylinder as shown here, and all the frequencies inside the cylinder with radius D0, those are passed completely, and all the frequencies outside the cylinder are attenuated completely. Okay, so hope this basic ideal low pass filter is clear to all of you. Now, can anybody tell me what is drawback of this sharp transition? In case of ideal low pass filter, there is sharp transition between pass band and stop band. So can anybody tell me, is there any drawback with this sharp transition? Can anybody tell me what is drawback of sharp transition? Please type your answer in the chat box. No, it's not salt pepper noise. You might have studied this concept in digital signal processing. Okay. So when we have sharp transition, basically when we take inverse transform, we don't get continuous this similar variation, but there are negative peaks and positive peaks. For a sharp transition, we get output which is oscillating, right? Which goes below the 0 axis, above the 0 axis, okay. So we get oscillations because of abrupt transitions, and those oscillations are observed as ringing effect in case of images. So this is your ideal low pass filter transfer function. HUV is equal to 1 if DUV is less than or equal to D0, and HUV is equal to 0 if DUV is greater than D0. So greater than D0 represents all the frequencies outside this cylinder. Okay. So here this DUV is nothing but distance of UV from origin. Origin is at center of the image, and if we assume image size as m by n, center of the image is given by m by 2 comma n by 2. Okay, so if this is your center point or origin, we can determine distance UV as square root of u minus m by 2 square plus v minus n by 2 square. Here origin is not 0, 0, but it is at the center of the image. So we consider center as origin as m by 2 comma n by 2, assuming image size as m by n. Okay, so this DUV represents distance from the origin in the transform domain. And if DUV is less than or equal to D0, where D0 represents cutoff distance. Okay, so if it is less than D0, all the frequencies are passed. Okay. So in 2D, the cutoff frequency is specified by the radius of circle. So that is D0 square is less, your U square plus V square is less than or equal to D0 square. So the same equation is written here, but condition is mentioned in squared format. Okay. So now how to choose this cutoff frequency, how to choose D0 is very, very important when we are using low pass filters. Okay, so most frequencies are concentrated around the center of the spectrum for most natural images. Okay, so for most of the natural images, they contain more number of low frequency components and mid frequency components. There are very less number of high frequency components for most of the natural images. That's why when we take Fourier transform of any natural image, it looks like as shown here. So most of the frequencies are concentrated around the center. If you observe here, most of the bright data or high amplitude data is near the center at very very close to center. All the region is entire white, means amplitude of frequencies near origin is very high, and if you move away from the center, amplitude is slowly decreasing. And if you look at the region which is close to center, most of the region is very bright. Why you are getting this region bright? Because for most of the natural images, they contain low frequency data and few mid frequency data. So most frequencies are concentrated around the center of this spectrum. Okay, and hence we can use a circle which covers all these low frequencies. Okay, so if we consider a circle centered at point n by 2 comma n by 2 in this particular frequency domain picture, so we have applied Fourier transform on this image, and now we are deciding what radius to choose, D0. So if we look at the image, we can easily understand that if we choose a circle as shown here, which is at n by 2 comma n by 2, okay, so it covers almost all non-zero frequency coefficients. And if we select D0 at this particular location, and if we apply this filter with D0 at n by 2 comma n by 2, we can retain almost original image. Okay, so here if we consider a circle centered at point n by 2 comma n by 2, and then we can apply this filter on the image, which retains all the components inside the circle and it attenuates all the components outside the circle. Okay, and after applying inverse transform on the result, we can get enhanced image or low pass filtered image in original image space. Okay, so here now for this image we can say this particular circle gives us uh, good low pass filtered image. General criteria is choose the radius by specifying percentage of total power to be preserved. Okay, so total power of transformed image is given by magnitude of FUV square. Okay, so this represents power spectrum of your Fourier transform image. And now if we determine this power, this total power as shown here, we can determine the total power and we can use a condition like preserve 80% of total power. Okay, so we can select all those coefficients. We start from central coefficient and we can go on increasing this radius of circle such that 80% of the total power is preserved. Okay, so here you can observe how this D0 affects your results. So basically D0 controls amount of blurring. If you take very small D0, it means you are selecting very few low frequency coefficients and you are attenuating almost all high frequency coefficient if you are having very small circle. As you go on increasing the radius, you are retaining more and more high frequency coefficient, so as if you are reducing the blurring. As you go on adding more and more high frequency components, less and less blurring takes place. Okay, so as you go on increasing the radius or as you go on increasing D0, blurring effect reduces. Why? Because as we increase the radius, we are adding more and more high frequency coefficients. Okay, so as shown here, this is result of filtering the image by retaining 99% of power. Okay, and for that radius required is 78. And if you look at this second picture, here only 90% power is retained and this 90% power is equivalent to radius of 8. Okay, so if you compare these two pictures, which one is more blurred in nature out of these two images? Please type your answer in the chat box. Which one is more blurred? Upper one or lower one? Okay, so this you can easily understand this lower one is more blurred. Why this is more blurred? Because here we have reduced radius, means we have reduced number of high frequency coefficient. When we switch from this outer circle to this inner small circle, we are reducing radius. Okay, so this is radius which is very small and we are, when this we select all the frequency coefficients inside this small circle and we attenuate all the frequency coefficients outside this small circle. So we are not using all frequency coefficients which are in mid frequency or high frequency range, and hence it has caused greater amount of blurring. Okay, so here when we reduce the radius, it gives greater blurring effect. Okay, so we can select D0 such that desired amount of blurring is there. Okay, so this is how we can decide on cutoff frequency or cutoff distance D0. Okay, so in 1D we can represent this cutoff as shown here, or in Fourier domain we represent it with this D0. and this right side represents its image plane equivalent or uh, time domain equivalent. Okay, if we take inverse of this filter function HU, it looks like as shown here in time domain. Okay, so here you can observe that when we take time domain equivalent of this sharp cutoff, here you are getting oscillations, negative and positive oscillations, and these oscillations cause ringing effect to the picture. So what is meaning of these meaning of rings? If you try to visualize this as image, it gives you alternate dark and bright circles. Okay, so when we use ideal low pass filter, it gives ringing effect, that is your desired object is uh, surrounded by dark and light circles. Okay, because of these oscillations. So the same effect is shown here in 3D. So this is your ideal low pass filter, and in image plane, because of this sharp transition, you will get this oscillating nature. Now try to visualize this as an image. Every positive peak will give you bright ring. Every negative peak will give you dark ring. Okay, so that's why this effect is known as ringing effect. Okay, so how we can avoid this ringing effect? So we can avoid ringing effect by attenuating higher frequencies smoothly. So this is your ideal low pass filter. Instead of using this ideal low pass filter transition, we can use this particular filter where transition from pass band to stop band is slow in nature, smooth in nature. Instead of abrupt transition, we are using smooth transition from pass band to stop band. Okay, so here these filters are named as either Butterworth filter or Gaussian filter. Okay, in order to get smooth transition, we can either go for Butterworth filter or Gaussian filter. So let us have a look at Butterworth low pass filter. Okay, so this Butterworth low pass filter function HUV is given by 1 upon 1 plus DUV by D0 raised to 2n. Here again DUV is distance from the origin or distance from the center of the image, and D0 is your cutoff frequency or cutoff distance. Okay, so this is your Butterworth filter function, and this n indicates order of filter. Okay, so n is filter order. So as we here you can observe, this is Butterworth filter in 3D for order 1, this is for order 2, this is order 3, and this is with order 4. N value is 4. So we can easily observe that for Butterworth filter, as we go on increasing the order, this transition from pass band to stop band becomes sharper and sharper. And when we use very high order, it becomes almost like ideal filter. And again, it gives ringing effect. If we increase this Butterworth filter order, when we make it more than 4, it becomes sharper and sharper, and it approaches to ideal filter. Okay, and it gives ringing effect. So at higher orders, it becomes nearly equal to ideal low pass filter, and again ringing becomes significant. Okay, so here are few examples of Butterworth low pass filters. This is with order 1. Okay, order 1, and this Butterworth filter is image plane space representation or time domain representation. Okay, so the filter in frequency domain is as shown here. Okay, This is with order 2, this is with order 5, and if you increase the order to very high, say 20, it becomes equivalent to ideal low pass filter. And you can observe here, even for Butterworth filter, you are getting these negative and positive peaks. And same is observed here as concentric rings. Are you able to observe these concentric rings? So wherever there are negative peaks, you observe a dark ring. Wherever there are positive peaks, you observe a bright ring. Again, a dark ring, bright ring. So there are alternate dark and bright rings when order of Butterworth low pass filter is very high. Okay. So this is why we get these rings, because as we increase the order, this transition from pass band to stop band becomes sharper and sharper as we increase the order. And because of this sharp transition, again we get ringing effect as shown here. Okay. So here with this picture, you can compare results of ideal low pass filter with Butterworth low pass filter. Okay. So this is your original image, and it is filtered by various ideal low pass filters. So here this, for ideal low pass filtering, very first result is obtained by radius of 10, then this is by 30, this is by 60, this is by 160, and here radius is 460. Now for this last image, as radius is very large, you are getting an image which is almost like original image. Okay, because here radius is very large means almost all frequency coefficients are retained. And same is true for Butterworth filter. Radius is varying slowly, increasing slowly, and for last image it is almost like original image because radius is very high, that is 460. And for Butterworth low pass filters, all these results are obtained by order 2. Okay. So at order 2, transition from stop band to from pass band to stop band is smooth in nature, and that observe. So here, as the for Butterworth filter, transition is smooth, you can observe there is no ringing effect. Just compare this third image with third image filtered by ideal filter. If you look at these squares are surrounded by concentric dark and bright squares for ideal low pass filter. Similarly, if you look at this A, this A is surrounded by concentric A's which are bright and dark in nature. This is because of sharp transition. You are getting this ringing effect. But if you look at the Butterworth low pass filter with same radius, that is 60. For both these images, radius is 60, but this image uses ideal low pass filter. This is result of ideal low pass filter, and this is result of Butterworth low pass filter. This is result of Butterworth low pass filter. Okay. So okay. So here this ringing, what I am saying, ringing is easy, getting ringing effect, and with Butterworth that ringing effect is not observed because transition from pass band to stop band is smooth in nature. Okay. So of course Butterworth low pass filter is better than ideal low pass filter. Hope these concepts are clear to you. Why to use Butterworth low pass filter, and what do you mean by ringing with respect to ideal low pass filter? Okay. Now one more type of low pass filter which provides smooth transition from pass band to stop band is Gaussian filter. it is most widely used because there is no ringing effect in case of Gaussian filter. Why there is no ringing in case of Gaussian filter? Because if you take inverse transform of Gaussian shape, it also results in Gaussian shape. So for image plane as well as for Fourier domain, of Gaussian shape is retained. Okay, that's why this Gaussian filter is most widely used. First reason is it is symmetric around vertical axis, and second reason is Gaussian shape in time domain is same as Gaussian shape in frequency domain, and at the same time it gives quite significant smoothing, means it removes noise from the image. That's why Gaussian filters are most widely used, and this is filter function for Gaussian filter. So HUV is equal to e raised to minus duv square divided by 2 times d0 square. Okay, so again this d0 is cutoff distance, or with respect to Gaussian we can say this is width of Gaussian function, and duv is distance of frequency coefficient from central value or from origin. Okay, so your Gaussian filter looks like this in frequency domain. If we transform it to image plane, it takes same shape. That is beauty of Gaussian function. So this is Gaussian filter with width 10. This here width is increased. It is d0 is 15, and here width is further increased. That is d0 is 17. Okay, so this is Gaussian frequency domain filter. Okay, so here HU, that is your filter function, and in one dimension we can represent this HU for Gaussian as a into e raised to minus u square by 2 sigma square. Okay, so this sigma is nothing but your cutoff frequency or width of Gaussian, and for this frequency domain Gaussian filter, its equivalent spatial domain representation is given by hx is equal to root 2 pi sigma into a into e raised to minus 2 pi square sigma square x square. So this is your frequency domain Gaussian filter represented here as HU, and when we transform it to spatial domain, it looks like this, which is denoted here as Hx. And if you remember, we have already studied this Gaussian filter while learning smoothing filters. Okay, so this is your Gaussian filter in image plane or spatial domain representation of Gaussian filter. So this is mask for Gaussian filter in spatial domain, where central coefficient has maximum value. It is surrounded by value 2 at immediate neighbors, and as you move away from the center, coefficient values are 1, 1, 1, 1. They are decreasing according to this Gaussian shape. Okay, so this is your spatial domain Gaussian filter, which we have already studied, and this is your frequency domain Gaussian filter, and this frequency domain Gaussian filter function is as given here. Okay, so if we apply this Gaussian low pass filter on the given image, so here one example is shown. There is a text image, and if you look here, there is a word YEAR, year, and here you can observe these two letters E and A, they are discontinuous continuous in nature. It is not scanned appropriately, this document. Here there are some discontinuities. Now when we apply Gaussian low pass filter on this image, it removes the noise, and at the same time it causes small amount of blurring, and because of this blurring effect or averaging effect, If now you look at these two letters E and A, now they are appearing continuous in nature as compared to original document. Okay, so this is use of Gaussian low pass filter. It is useful to remove discontinuous filter. Okay, so because of Gaussian filtering, you can get continuous characters as shown here. Okay. This is one more example of Gaussian low pass filter. This is original image, and you can, if you zoom this area near eye, you can observe that there are wrinkles on the face. There are these black lines, if you can observe them, and these wrinkles are blurred when you apply a Gaussian low pass filter. So this is result of filtering original image by using Gaussian function width as 100. Okay, so here you can observe as compared to original image, these wrinkles are slightly blurred. And if you use D0, this is also result of blurring original image now by using Gaussian width as 80. Okay, so here more amount of blurring, those wrinkles are almost removed. So you can make this picture to look more younger by applying Gaussian low pass filter. It gives blurring effect and sharp details are removed. Okay. So now let us have a look at various types of high pass filters in frequency domain. Like ideal low pass filter, we have ideal high pass filter. Similar, like we have Butterworth low pass filter, we have Butterworth high pass filter, and we also have third type, that is Gaussian high pass filter. Okay, now ideal, we can obtain these three filters simply by subtracting low pass filter equations from 1, right? So your ideal high pass filter can be obtained from low pass filter as shown here. This ideal high pass filter HUV is given by 1 minus ideal low pass filter. So this is your ideal low pass filter. Simply subtract it from 1. We will get its inverse, that is here we will get 1, and here after D0 we will get 0. So the same is shown here. If we perform 1, so 1 minus low pass filter, we get this high pass filter function. So for ideal high pass filter, all the frequencies below D0 they are attenuated, and all the frequencies above D0 they are passed as it is. Okay, so we can obtain this ideal high pass filter function by 1 minus ideal low pass filter function. Okay, now this shape, again if you rotate this shape around this vertical axis, you will get another shape as shown here. So this is your ideal low pass filters. All the frequencies inside the cylinder with radius D0, they are now attenuated, and all the frequencies outside this cylinder, they are passed. Okay, so equivalent to this filter function is as shown here. Now when we consider it for images, now we have two frequency axes, one is U, another is V. So it is denoted, filter coefficients are denoted as HUV. HUV is 1 if U square plus V square is greater than or equal to D0 square. So outside the cylinder gain is 1, and inside the cylinder HUV is 0. Okay, so this is your ideal high pass filter. So this ideal high pass filter function we can obtain simply by subtracting ideal low pass filter function from 1, and the same we can write as shown here. Ideal high pass filter HUV is given by 1 if DUV is greater than or equal to 0. It is 0 if DUV is less than or equal to 0. Now this next equation, it represents Butterworth high pass filter function. So this HUV for Butterworth high pass filter is given by 1 upon 1 plus D0 by DUV raised to 2n. Or you can also obtain it by 1 minus Butterworth filter function for for Butterworth low pass filter. Okay. So, and similarly, Gaussian high pass filter function, we can get HUV as 1 minus e raised to minus DUV square divided by 2D0 square. So simply we are subtracting Gaussian low pass filter from 1 to get Gaussian high pass filter function. Okay. So this is high pass filter. So this Gaussian high pass filter function is as shown here. So this equation is as given in this formulae. And if you look at the shape of Gaussian high pass filter, all the frequencies inside this Gaussian shape, those are attenuated slowly, and all the frequencies outside the Gaussian shape, those are passed as it is, or for them gain is maximum. Okay. Now if we represent the same shape in as image, here for this entire region we will observe maximum intensity value. So here we are observing white, and as we move towards center, this brightness is slowly decreasing, and corresponding to this negative peak, we are getting darkest shade, that is black. Okay. So near the center we are getting bright shades. As we move away from the center, bright intensity value is slowly increasing, and outside this circle all the frequency values are completely white. Okay. So the same shape is represented here as image. Okay. So this is also Gaussian high pass filter in frequency domain, and if we take cut uh, along vertical axis for this shape. Okay. And if we represent only one part, it looks like as shown here. In the third image, you can observe DUV versus HUV, which is projection of this image on vertical plane. Okay. And as this is symmetric around this axis, only we are indicating here half of the portion of this vertical plane. Okay. On this side you will get similar shape or mirror image of this shape. So all these three pictures represent Gaussian high pass filter. Here it is represented in 3D form, here it is represented as image, and here it is plotted as filter function, projection on only vertical plane. Okay. So this is also Gaussian filter but with reduced cutoff. Okay. Width of Gaussian is reduced. Okay. So this is your Gaussian high pass filter. Okay. Now these spatial representations of all high pass filters are shown here. This is your ideal high pass filter. This is Butterworth high pass filter, and this is Gaussian high pass filter. And these three filters are shown here in spatial domain. That is after taking inverse of respective frequency domain equations. Okay. When we take inverse of these filter functions, we get spatial representation. And again for ideal high pass, you can observe the ringing effect, because when we take inverse of high pass filter, we get its spatial representation as shown here. There are undershoots and overshoots, and those are reflected as rings in case of ideal high pass filter in spatial domain. And if you look at Butterworth high pass filter or Gaussian high pass filter, it doesn't have this ringing effect. Okay, so this is all about ideal high pass filter and Butterworth and Gaussian high pass filter. So here you can compare ideal high pass filter and Butterworth high pass filter. Okay, so this is your ideal high pass filter results with distance 30, 60 and 160. And if you look here, because of high pass operation, image is sharpened. Okay, but because of ideal high pass filter, there is sharp transition between stop band and pass band, and it gives you ringing effect. So if you observe this, your A is sharpened, but at the same time you are observing concentric dark and bright rings around surrounding this letter A. Okay, this is because of ringing effect, because of ideal high pass filter. Now if you look at the Butterworth high pass filter with same distance, that is 60 and order 2, you can observe very good result. Here there is no ringing, and at the same time all the details in the picture are sharpened. Okay, here you can observe that all the boundaries are very sharp and there is no ringing effect, because here we have filtered the image by Butterworth high pass filter. Okay, and as you increase the radius of Butterworth high pass filter, here you can observe the effect. Okay, sharpening goes on reducing, because when you increase the distance, sorry, here for high pass filter, as you increase the distance, sharpening goes on increasing, because you are truncating more and more frequency coefficients. Okay, and in this image you can observe comparison of Butterworth high pass filter and Gaussian high pass filter. They are more or less same, but at the same time, if you compare results with higher distance or higher value of cutoff, you can say that Gaussian gives you better result than Butterworth high pass filter, because even at greater distance, sharpness is comparatively more than that with Butterworth high pass filter. Okay, so I think okay, let me quickly cover homomorphic filtering, because I'm taking 5 minutes extra today, because tomorrow I am on leave, and hence I won't be engaging your lecture, but still tomorrow you have to solve the quiz. Okay, I will be giving you quiz to solve during tomorrow's lecture slot. Okay, but that quiz is not more than half an hour. So today I'm going to take 10 minutes extra. Okay. So let us have a look at homomorphic filtering, and meanwhile you can type your attendance in the chat box. So follow the norm, that is your last 5 digits of PRN number followed by your name, but don't leave the meeting. We are still going to cover this homomorphic filtering. Okay.